Hey there, everybody. A couple days ago, I saw The Dictator, the new comedy from Sacha Baron Cohen, and I enjoyed it. I think I'll give it a 6. I didn't love it, but, I definitely, didn't not like it. I enjoyed myself. I had a good time. I thought it was a decent comedy. The Dictator is about a dictator from the country of Wadia. He's, your average dictator, executes without forethought, kills women, whatever, the standard. He gets ousted from power by his right-hand man, and is left in New York while he's there to deliver a speech to the UN. He's kidnapped, tortured, and set free onto the streets of New York, while a double has taken his place and will ruin the dictatorship and free the country of Wadia. And of course he must stop this at all costs. He must remain in power. It stars Sacha Baron Cohen, Ben Kingsley. There are a lot of people in this movie, and a lot of familiar faces. Even like throwaway lines, 1 or 2 lines, are given to a comedian that you will no doubt recognize. You may not know their names, but you will easily be able to say, hey, that's so-and-so from something. You would definitely recognize and probably be able to place them in something else. Anna Faris is also in it. John C. Reilly is in it for a little bit. Again, many comedians. I was like, oh, it's, and then the next scene, oh, it's, so-and-so. One that stuck out for me is John from Delocated. John Glasser, I believe his name is. He doesn't have the mask on here, but it's obviously John, and he's hilarious, as always. There are other people in this. Megan Fox does a cameo, which you see in the trailer. I don't know, there seems like there was some other people I should be mentioning there. Anyway, it was okay. It was written by Sacha Baron Cohen, produced by Sacha Baron Cohen. It was co-written by Sacha Baron Cohen. It was co-written with, I believe, the director and a couple other people. The director being Larry Charles. I believe this is Larry Charles's maybe second straightforward film. I mean, in following a script and what have you. Larry Charles did Masked and Anonymous, the Bob Dylan movie. And, that was a straightforward script, albeit entirely weird and abstract. But usually, I believe Larry Charles deals with, documentaries. And like the other Sacha Baron Cohen, he also did Borat, he did Bruno, which I would still say are kind of hidden camera reality, documentary films in a way. They're just definitely not scripted ABC films. I think this is... I know that Sacha Baron Cohen did the Ali G movie, which I believe was pretty much straightforward script. I think there might have been some interviews in there somewhere, but I remember Ali G pretty much being straightforward. But I really wished that it was more, hidden camera. I thought at least maybe one scene, all the other people in the scene weren't in on it, but now that the more I think about it, probably not, probably more that they were actors. That's where I think Sacha Baron Cohen is at his best, is when he is the only one in on the joke. If everyone else knows what's going on, I think it loses some of its impact. I think he loses some of his power, just because he's so good, when he's dealing with, somebody normal. It was funny. I had some good laughs. One thing, it was like an hour and 20 minutes, and it still felt a little long. It kind of drug there for a moment. I wasn't sure, what they were wanting or where they were going. I kind of wish they had avoided the cliche, romance. I just kind of wish that this was more controlled by Sacha Baron Cohen. I wish that he, I don't know, it feels like a compromise. It feels like a compromise that he did kind of for the studios and maybe just for kind of a payday. But I tell myself that when an artist compromises and gets a good payday, it's because they're just trying to get a little bit more power, get a little bit more breathing room. And yes, he may have compromised, and yes, he may have done a studio picture, but then he probably did that to earn some freedom with his next project. So whatever we see next from him, I hope he gets, back to his roots more. I also thought politically, I believe that Sacha Baron Cohen, more than anything, is kind of a political commentator. He uses comedy to, everyone should use comedy to expose the truth, but I guess few do it as good as he does, as well as he does. I thought with Bruno and with Borat, both superior films to this. The political message was more subtle and throughout, where it was eventually mounting up into this statement that isn't fully just driven into your head. It's just something I don't know, if you're intelligent, you just notice and kind of say, this is his point. Again, it's subtle. It's not force-fed into you. The Dictator definitely makes a political statement. And it's a political statement that I wholeheartedly agree with, but it comes at the very end, and it comes as like a baseball bat, to the side of the head, which is fine. Maybe it will, make people sit up and take notice. In fact, he basically delivers it in a monologue, which, I've always kind of wondered if this Dictator is like an homage or kind of like a remake of Charlie Chaplin's great film, The Dictator, or I guess it's The Great Dictator. At the end of that film, of the Charlie Chaplin film, he makes this kind of historic or iconic monologue. It's the same way here, at the end he makes this, kind of this iconic monologue that totally nails America. It just nail on the head, perfect, pushes the button. And you can even feel people in the theater getting slightly uncomfortable. That it's so much obviousness and so much truth just told right to you, and it's nothing you want to accept, nothing you want to believe, but it's obviously true. And it, again, feels like a baseball bat to the side of your head. And, I just wish that instead of coming all at once, it could have, and, maybe it did. Maybe, I thought about it too much, but I just wish that the political stuff could have been more subtle and spread throughout, instead of bombastically climactic at the end. But it's fine because it definitely makes a salient point, and one that I totally agree with. But it just, just came right at the end. If you're a fan of Sacha Baron Cohen, you've probably already seen it. I mean, I'll recommend. I don't think you need to see this in the big screen at all. You can definitely wait for home. The crowd was good. I mean, the crowd was good. It was sold out. And comedies, the sold out comedies, sometimes can be a good thing, sometimes can be a bad thing, because, if the jokes don't land, the theater can be pretty silent, and it's kind of, awkward, except that they don't know about it. The stars, that is, the filmmakers. But the crowd, it was pretty good reaction. There were a couple teenage girls behind me. And again, this is a sold-out crowd, so it's not much you can do about it. But these teenage girls were talking constantly. And it really made the girl next to me mad. I can sometimes shut it out a little bit, but the girl next to me kept on turning around and shushing these younger girls. So that kind of affected the experience a little bit, but I tried to put it out of my mind the best I could, because I don't know if it's possible to shut up a 14-year-old girl, So I just kind of grinned and bared it. I thought, I laughed. I had a decent time. I had a decent time. Sacha Baron Cohen is, there's no other artist like him. He doesn't, that's all I gotta say. There's no other artist like him, so any product from him is going to be good. He's just, he's all in. He's an all-in actor. He's an all-in performer. And he goes all in here. So that's great, but I definitely think, with the exception of maybe the Ali G movie, this is probably his weakest work, but it's still, pretty strong. Better than most comedies, certainly. I don't even bother to see most comedies. I guess that's pretty much all I got to say about that. So that's The Dictator. I give it a solid 6. You can wait for home video, unless you're a Sacha Baron Cohen fan. In that case, you've probably already seen it, but go out and see it. All right, thanks.